everyone. This is Kim Graves, and this is Jessica Ausbrook. We are here from Solidarity Community Federal Credit Union, and this is The Ripple Effect.
Welcome, Kim.
Jessica, hello. How are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
I am just grand. Trying to get warmed up.
Who'd you bring for us today?
Well, it's Nathan, a.k.a. Nate.
Okay. Nathan, because Dee Dee's watching, Miss Dee Dee.
Yep.
Yes.
But you go by Nate too, right?
Yes, ma'am.
First City Recovery Center. We're still learning about this. What a fantastic get, for lack of a better way to put it, to help folks in Kokomo. Let's start with, what is it? What do you provide? Who do you help?
So we are a fully medically licensed detox residential PHP and IOP program for treatment of addiction, and we also have a mental health program.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I want to dive in a little bit because you have a heart for this, because you have been through these struggles in the past. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I spent 20 years in active addiction. Got sober March 15th of 2018.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and I wanted to give back. You know, part of my program is service work, so I started to work in recovery. Met Dan Metz, who had a passion for wanting to bring something back to his hometown that wasn't available for people. You know, he doesn't shy away from the fact he's in recovery also. And when he went to treatment, he had to go out of town. So he wanted to bring something back here. And that's how First City was born.
I like that.
Wow.
So we started First City when?
So we took our first client February of 2021.
Wow. And it's just grown since then?
Absolutely. Yeah. January the 22nd, we have our open house for our brand new building where we're adding 44 more beds of detox and residential.
Where's that at?
310 West Taylor Street.
310 West Taylor Street.
It's the old First Baptist Church. It used to be on the corner.
That's so nice.
So how many beds do you currently have?
So we have 21 higher level of care beds, detox residential and mental health stabilization. And then we have 27 transitional living for PHP and IOP.
Are they all full currently?
Yeah.
We stay full. That was the need for the new building.
Yeah.
And Dan and them are building out and creating more sober livings to support more PHP and IOP.
Wow.
This is hard work.
Absolutely.
It's hard
Very
work
hard.
to get sober, and it is hard work to help people get sober. And you've been in both positions.
Absolutely.
Mental health's
Yeah.
a big deal, too.
There's something to be said. Like, a lot of our people that work at First City are in recovery. And, you know, when we come to the point where we want to get sober, we don't think anybody understands. And to sit in front of someone like myself, Savannah, our case manager, and for them to say, I get it, and you actually like believe that we get it, it makes a huge
I
difference.
bet it does.
It's a hard decision to make because you're so stuck in that cycle.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about what got you out of that cycle?
Well, I think the consequences got too great. Things got really bad for my life, and you know, I came to the point where I almost, I ran the risk of losing the relationship with my children. Things got really bad, so I had to make the decision that, you know, the consequences were too great. And you know, I'm never going to shy away from the fact the first year of recovery is hard work.
I bet it is.
It is you have to fight the feeling of wanting to go back and just live the easy life, the life you used to live, because it's hard work. But there's a switch that happens there after around a year where not to get into the science, but the neural pathways in our brain kind of change. And we go back, neuroplasticity says we can go back to where we used to be. And that happens.
That's very reassuring,
Yeah.
I think, for folks to hear, too, because maybe you're in active addiction and you think, nothing is going to help me. My life is never going to be on track. But folks like you and the folks at First City Recovery Center, you've been there. You know what it takes to get that year mark, hit that year mark, and then to keep going on and on and on. It's tough.
Do you always find that when people come into the program, that if they are being told that they have to do it, they're not willing, but if they willingly come into the program, they want to try harder to accomplish where they want to be?
Yeah, it takes the first step. It has to be them. Family can want it all they want.
Yeah.
Like I always said, if a mother's love could cure addiction, it would have saved me 20 years out there.
Yeah.
And it's just not so. It's just not how it works. We have to have some degree of willingness.
That's what.
But once you step over that threshold, now in Kokomo, there is so much support. Our recovery community has grown
Quickly.
I always like to give a shout out to one of my mentors, Chuck McCoskey. He is somebody that has laid the foundation.
I like
the
that,
groundwork.
the groundation.
I know, right?
Yeah, I like the
We're gonna
ground.
go
Yeah,
with
that's use that. Chuck's a good guy.
He
Yeah.
is, and many of us in this community stand on his shoulders from what he's done, and he's made a safe space for people to say, "Hey, I struggle with this also," because it was not always in vogue, or it was
Sure.
taboo,
Right.
But what we find out is all of us are affected some way and somehow by addiction, whether it's ourselves or it's a loved one or someone we know's loved one. And with the fentanyl crisis going on, lives are being lost. So this is where we got to step in the gap and do something about it.
It's frightening.
Are you seeing more cases of drugs or more cases of mental health, or is it a mixture? Because
You know
they're
what?
both involved. I mean,
That's a great question. Like, addiction and mental health and homelessness are intrinsically linked.
Yeah.
And I think post-COVID, we've seen a lot more mental health come in. I think people, were really worried about what life looked like at the time, and it really kind of exposed some mental health situations that were
yes,
going on.
I
Had
agree.
time to think about it.
And then we find out, like I did, and like many of us, that I was assured that drugs and alcohol were my problem, and then I got sober and I realized I had a whole lot of
Yeah,
other problems.
right.
You
Yeah, that
know,
wasn't. That's what just
People
covered
jump
it up.
in
Yeah.
because it hurts to feel some of those things that
Absolutely,
you have going on inside.
escapism. It was
Yep.
about escape. you know?
I imagine that had to be one of the hardest things to get over, especially in that first year. Like, this is a rough day.
Yeah,
I want to go do this because I know it'll make me feel better.
for sure.
Man, that's tough.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. And then fighting against that. Because when I talked a little earlier about the neuroscience of it, my brain has made a pathway to say that's the solution to a bad day or bad problem. But I have to retrain my brain that there is better, more positive solutions.
And it's not just a one and done. It's a every
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, I remember I saw something on Facebook a long time ago where it said, sobriety is not owned, it's rented, and rent's due every day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like
Very true.
I have to wake up and tell myself, I'm a 12-step. I do attend AA, but I always took to heart the third step prayer from the NA, which is I wake up in the morning and I just say, take my will in my life, guide me in my recovery, show me how to live
Every single day.
every day. Because if I don't, then I'm making my own decisions,
Sure.
and I'm not a very good decision maker.
Yeah.
But your neural pathways.
Yeah.
Yeah, right,
Yeah, they're
right.
making it better for sure.
I've been to AA with a family member a couple of different times, two different family members. And I mean, not just to go to that class, but several classes and, for support and the counseling. And it doesn't take just that. I mean, it starts with the individual, but it also takes, the caring and the loving and the support
Absolutely.
to help that individual get through it. But you have to be able to get through it as well.
Yeah.
So it affects a lot of people.
No, it is a we program. It is.
It is.
I've proven to myself over the course of 20 years that I cannot do this on my own. And I think that speaks to what this is going. Like, we need community. We need.
Right.
I think a great example of we were talking about before I came on the podcast. I saw the name the ripple effect. I love that because it speaks to what we do. If I help somebody at First City, we help them get sober.
Yep.
It's not just affecting their life. It is affecting the family, the unit they're going home to,
Right.
the kids that they are raising. And the domino effect is so great, we can't even quantify it. It's just that big. And I think it helps our entire community.
It definitely does.
There's a great example real quick of, our case manager, her name's Savannah Leatherman. She's a very inspirational gal, but her and I started to be advisors on drug and reentry court.
Okay.
And through that, she has been given the opportunity to bring a group, one hour a week, into the jail for the women, called My Sister's Keeper.
I love that.
And
That's awesome.
that's that ripple. They're getting a little exposure to that before they ever step out. And maybe they come to First City, or maybe they end up in AA and NA or whatever, but they're not going to forget. And that's something that Savannah, First City is supporting Savannah in doing, and it's not directly relating to admissions to First City, and that's
Sure.
okay because it's community.
And people need to know. I think sometimes it's taboo, right? And it is getting less and less taboo, but people are still, I think, afraid to talk about addiction,
Sure.
to approach addiction. And it's something we all, for lack of a better way to put it, it's all of our issue to solve. It
Right.
takes all of us to make sure that everybody is safe and healthy.
Absolutely.
Does the court system ever, when somebody's arrested, does the court system ever say, you have to go through this program?
Well, my first exposure to it has been through the Drug and Reentry Court.
Okay.
I know Magistrate Shepard is doing an excellent job. I love her a lot. Somebody gets involved in drug court per charge they already have or whatnot, or reentry court from DOC, and then they struggle, like we all do, or they hit a roadblock. We become a resource for them instead of going right back to jail.
Yeah.
And I think that's it's not where I'd like to see it, but it's a great place to start.
Right.
That I think the court's criminal justice system is recognizing this is a mental health crisis.
Yep.
It is not just a crime.
Right.
Yeah, people are having a hard time. And then people do things to deal with those hard times. We've all been
You
there.
just said it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've all been there. My oldest brother is sober. And I mean, I'm
Congrats to him.
number 4 or 5. And it took a long time. But he is 5+ years sober. And it's like,
That's awesome.
you wake up every
Yeah.
day and you think, thank God for that.
Yeah.
For his family, for his kids, for all of us. You worry so much. And you just want everybody to be healthy, safe.
Yeah.
I mean,
happy.
it affects everything.
It does.
It really does. I mean, it affects their job. It affects their family. It affects their kids. It affects your spouse. It's just
Yeah,
your friend. I mean, everything.
My
It affects
mom,
everything.
her life centered around my addiction. Wondering whether I was going to survive.
Sure.
So after 20 years and I get sober, she had to relearn how to live her own life.
Sure.
Because, my addiction wasn't the center of everything she worried about all the time. So she had to kind of learn to kind of relive life with dad again.
Yeah.
And you probably didn't even know that.
No,
Didn't
I was
even
oblivious.
think of it because it was
Yeah.
about what you were doing, focused on you, did what you wanted to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The hallmark of our disease is selfishness and self-centeredness.
Yeah.
It is me focused only on myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I couldn't see the I couldn't see the collateral damage
Sure.
that was going on.
Sure.
That's impactful, what you just said. I mean, that's just like a story to share right there about how it impacted your mom.
Oh, yeah.
Now, was she calling you Nathan or Nate?
She would never call me Nate. She will never call me Nate.
And I imagine that she had sleepless nights. She prayed for you
Promise you she
constantly,
did.
all day,
Yeah.
every day. When the phone rang, what was it going to be?
Yeah.
And I can imagine how relieved and overjoyed she is that not only have you beat this and do you continue to beat it every single day, but now you're helping people who had the same issue.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was the wedge that drove my family apart, to be honest with you. Like her, my mom enabled me for a long time out of nothing more than love. Like it wasn't, she couldn't see me want or need, and I manipulated her for it. And my brother saw right through it. So it drove a wedge between him and her.
Okay.
But recovery has brought it all. Now, every Saturday morning, we have coffee at my parents' house at 10 a.m. every morning.
I love that.
My brother, we're all out there. We've done it now for 8 years. Coming up on 8 years. I don't want to shortchange myself. March 15th will be 8 years.
8 years sober for you?
Yes.
That's
Yep,
so
yep.
exciting.
Congratulations.
That is so exciting.
But yeah, the healing, recovery isn't just for me.
No,
It's
them
for them too.
too. Yeah.
And I have to see that the decisions that I make are far reaching and they impact other people besides myself. And I think that's why Dan Metz and Rudy Rice and myself and all of us associated with First City, they're successful businessmen, and this is a passion project for them.
Yeah.
It is not, it does not make them the same amount of money that their other businesses do. They've sunk a lot of personal time and assets into this because they want this to be a place where people can come and feel safe and get sober.
So let's talk a little bit about the program or programs
Sure.
for folks who are in active addiction.
So yeah, if someone reaches out to us or is referred to us, they say they are struggling with drugs or alcohol, they come in. Depending on the severity and the substance, you're going to look at like a 7 to 10 day detox.
Which I imagine is very hard.
Yeah, but we are fully medically licensed with a great team of staff of nurses, psychiatric nurse practitioner, psychiatrist. So they're going to be comfortable, comfort meds. We do use, for an opioid, we do use Suboxone in detox to detox somebody, but we like to see that once they step out of detox into residential, that they're no longer on
That's awesome.
Suboxone or a substance. There are one-off compassionate cases where somebody needs to have that longer into the program, and of course we're going to accommodate how we can, but we generally don't keep people on MAT.
I don't think I knew just how involved that this program was, that it is at First City Recovery Center. I mean, you have that whole facility and the whole staff that are there to support the people who are working towards that recovery goal. And sometimes is that 7 to 10 day window seems like probably the scariest part.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is. Well, it's the unknown, right? When I thought of I didn't think of detox for 20 years. I thought of withdrawals, like how bad this is going to feel and hurt. So, and then you step into detox and you realize there is a support staff here, and there is comfort medication, and there is knowledge to help you through that. You start to see people, the light come back on, they're feeling bad when they first come in detox, but we like to get in their room and encourage them to go to group. And maybe they only go to that first group for 15 minutes, but next thing you know, they start coming back every single time because they're finding out that people are feeling just the same way they are.
Now, what they come into the program, is it both for men and women?
Yes.
And it can be residential. They can be there full time and they can come from home. How does that work?
So once you complete detox, you go into residential level of care, which is still an inpatient level of care. So you would still stay at First City. Once you step down to PHP, which is partial hospitalization, if you're local, you can transition back to home, and then you come to the center every day from 9 to 3.
Okay.
Or you can transition to our transitional living. Maybe you're from Kokomo, but the home environment isn't very conducive to you to remain sober.
Right.
So you live in our sober living. Or you are from out of town and you need the sober living. So, yeah. And then once you step down from that, you go to IOP, which is intensive outpatient, and that's Monday through Friday from 9 to noon.
Wow.
Do you have some that leave and just don't come back?
Yeah,
And then
we have what's called AMA, which is against medical advice. But, a lot of programs out there, and I never want to disparage another program, but a lot of programs out there are 28 days and done.
Sure. I mean, that seems like...
Yeah. And you're just not ready at that point. So even with someone's, the AMAs, which maybe someone leaves after 5 days, or maybe they leave after 15. Our average length of stay right now is 64 days, with those factored in. So most people stay in our program and are willing to do it because it's something different. Like it is. I like to always say that, people will come from other treatment centers and come to ours, and we'll hear that all the time. This is just something different. I don't know why in the middle of Kokomo, but I think it's just the passion. It is a passion project, and our owners put a lot into this thing. Because of their other businesses, all the money that First City may make today goes directly back in for more support. And that's why we're building the 44 more beds.
That's right. 44 more beds. Where will that be?
310 West Taylor Street, right on the same street of Armstrong. We almost have from Jefferson to Taylor on Armstrong Street, we almost have every building.
That's great.
So the plan is to make it a campus.
That's wonderful.
That would be huge.
Yep.
But 64 days is nothing compared to dealing with it for every day of your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, no, and we always tell people, like, imagine you're coming into treatment, you're thinking 64 days seems like an eternity. Well, that's 64 days for the rest of your life.
Yep.
You're giving 64 days.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody's here with us during Christmas.
Yeah.
It's a hard spot to be in because you'll hear them, like, I'm missing my kids this year for Christmas.
Shoot.
But were you really present? Now you're going to get every Christmas from here on out.
right.
Yep.
And
right.
you're present and you're there.
Yeah.
You just said some powerful words. I mean, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, look, I think I put a post on Facebook recently. This Christmas was my 8th Christmas sober. It was also the 8th Christmas that my parents didn't wonder if it'd be my last. And
Wow.
that was a big deal. It was a big
That's
deal for my
huge.
family.
Yeah.
So
It's a big deal for our community too, to see people who are struggling and then coming out of it, working hard. And it really is you passing that on to the next person and that person probably passing it on to the next person.
Sure.
And like we said,
Right.
that ripple effect for sure.
Talking about all this because you are doing such a great service and something that is so well needed in this community. And I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I'm
Me
sure
too.
we all
Me
do
too.
because I think it is definitely making a difference. But I do want to end this with just a little bit of humor. So we were talking about, little group sessions where we have therapy and everybody's sitting around. So I'll throw this in there. She knows what's
I don't know.
So I was watching this on Facebook the other day, and they were doing like an AA meeting, and everybody was sitting in a crowd, and they're all sitting around, and they're talking. And the first words that comes out of this guy's mouth was, "I'm an Alabama fan, and we lost." and then everybody's like, "And I'm here, and I'm still an Alabama fan."
Yep.
And then they all join in. Go Hoosiers. I just had to
I
add
love
that
it. No,
humor
that's
in
great.
there.
That's
And
perfect.
so I've watched 2 of them on Facebook now where the AA, I mean, it's like it's an AA group, but it's an Alabama Al-Anon group where they're getting counseling
love
for
it.
getting beat. Love it. So I had to share that to bring some humor because you are doing so much for this community and we appreciate it
Oh, thank you.
very, very much.
What happens after the 90 days?
So that's a really great question. Something that we're really focused on at First City is our case management team is the best in the country. We focus hard on getting people set up for success afterwards. We have a very strong alumni program. So every Tuesday night, alumni are free to come back for our alumni speaker meeting. We just had a coffee meetup at Big Ben where all alumni showed up, and First City bought them all coffee and they got all hang out. And so I think supporting our alumni after 90 is a big part about why, what do we want? Ultimately, we want to reduce recidivism. We don't want people committing, getting on the other side of law enforcement.
Right.
And I think supporting our alumni is that's happening.
That's good to see.
And keeping track just to make sure.
Absolutely.
Hey, you need anything else?
And that's a really good point because we have had situations where someone shows up at the alumni meeting and they're struggling. And, by the grace of God, we're able to readmit them and give it another go. And I think having that safe space meant all the world for them
Right.
to show back up.
Now, after you mentioned just checking in with different people, there are so many different groups who around our community partner, whether it's our churches or specific groups who meet. It really has turned into this full community, wrapping your arms around people and lifting people up.
Absolutely. No, I think Kokomo's a little different. It is. It feels that way. I'm blessed to be connected to a lot of different programs across the country now, through referral sources, through Mental Health of America, events that are put on, and the recovery community and the community beyond. Like, I mean, when I watch one of my mom's best friends in the world is Tammy Lively. I've always had to watch We Care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I watch that and what our community does, like, I think it just speaks to the heart of who we are, and that, whether it's Kokomo Urban Outreach, if it's, I can think of 1,000 different people in this community that give of their time and resources to help others, and I know I love it.
Me too. It is a great place to live.
Yep.
For sure.
It is.
And it takes all of us to make sure it is a great place to live for everybody. Nate, if we have questions about First City Recovery Center, what do we do? Go online? How do we get moving on that process?
Well, I'm the director of marketing, so you can always call my number.
867-5309.
Hey,
That's not it. That's not it.
that was good.
I just want to see Kim's reaction.
I know.
Okay.
Like if somebody needs to, can somebody just walk into your facility, or they have to be referred?
You can walk in the front door and ask Rebecca. She's our office manager. She's fantastic, in the front desk of 317 West Jefferson. You can walk in there. Somebody can always call our admission lines. We have several different, but so our admission number is 406-637-7766.
Okay.
And so they determine if somebody can be admitted at that point.
We have dedicated admission coordinators that will talk to them. They'll do a pre-assessment over the phone. That pre-assessment then gets submitted to and this happens in real time, to our clinical team, who overlooks it and sees if the person's appropriate. But, Riley Metz, our director of admissions, and Dan, something that was kind of put into our heads early on is the phone call does not stop with us. If we are not appropriate, we're going to be the last phone call they make, because we are going to refer them to somewhere that we trust that is going to be appropriate for them, because it might be the last phone call that they ever decide to make. So we got to take action on that call.
Right.
So it doesn't, that referral doesn't mean a direct admit to First City, but Dan and Riley and the team don't really care. They just care that somebody gets the help. So, that's kind of been put into our brain. Like, we don't stop with the admission, because as soon as it comes back from clinical and it says this person's not appropriate, whether it's they need a hospital level setting or whatnot, okay, let's get them there. We just don't say, hey, I'm sorry, you're not appropriate for here. Because what is that? That might be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Nobody wants to help me.
Right.
Nobody wants to help. Nobody cares. And Dan and Riley and the team and all of First City refuses to do that.
That's great.
That's what makes you guys so special.
What can we do to help as community members? What do you need from us to help secure the hopeful success for folks who are in recovery? What can we do?
Well, I think this is a big deal. I've watched I watched the podcast with the gal from Food Finders. I think putting the resources out there into the community, and being a voice for people who are doing the things that we're talking about. My good friend will be on with you guys, I think today, Nikita Catchings.
Yeah.
We got sober together a long time ago. So she's been doing big work helping our homies.
Yeah.
She has been.
I think that right there, it does it for me, is the spotlight. Because I think that's what we need, the spotlight. National news or local news or whatever you look at, the spotlight's on the wrong things.
Agreed.
And I think spotlighting this stuff makes a big difference.
Yep. And it shows people like, hey, I can do this, and they're represented. And if that person can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
And you can do it if you're watching.
And I think there's so many things out there that a lot of people don't even know we have. And I think that's what this podcast is all about,
Yep.
to say, hey, guess what?
You get down that deep, dark hole and you don't think anybody else is up there, or you can dig yourself out. You don't have to do it alone anymore.
Guess who you call? Nate.
That's right.
And I think whether it's Nikita or it's Dan Metz or myself, I was unemployed 7.5 years ago. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I took a job as a behavioral health tech, and now I'm director of marketing for all of First City. Like, these things can happen I'm not unique in that. These things are happening for a ton of people that are getting sober in our community, and can happen for somebody out there who is still using today.
You're making a big difference in
Yeah.
a lot of people's lives.
Saving lives, saving families, helping great families blossom, and the children. You're doing the best possible work.
Your
Really.
mom believed in you, and she's proud of you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the best.
She sounds like it. You're the best too. This is such a great organization. Nate, if we have more questions, I know you saw that phone number. You gave us that phone number earlier. That's a good place to start. Is there a website we can look at? Facebook too?
Yep, firstcityrecoverycenter.com. You can go on there, and we also have there's a mental health website that will connect. You can connect to from that. Facebook, we have a Facebook page, First City Recovery Center. Everybody can always check out my Facebook page or Savannah's Facebook page and see what somebody who's working there is doing, because we're very vocal about what we do and passionate about what we do. So my page is basically a public page for recovery.
I have been your Facebook friend for a long time. I think this might be the first time we've ever met before.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like I know you. I followed your journey into, getting to a normal, happy place to be able to help other people. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So
Thank
happy
you.
for you and for Dee Dee.
My mom's great. And my wife's great too. I should say that before
Your wife
I
is
keep
so
talking
pretty
about
too.
Yeah, she's great. But no, I think, I look back at my Facebook, and I had to relearn how to be a good dad again. When I go back, I had to relearn how to be a good spouse at all, because I was coming out of a bad failed marriage, and I didn't know how to even have a healthy relationship.
Sure.
That's what recovery gave me, and what it taught me was how to have a positive life and healthy relationships with my kids. Be present and be heard. They want to be heard too.
Sure.
Yeah. Wow. You've had to grow up.
Yeah. Now I got a stepson.
Yeah.
He's great. He's great.
That's exciting. It's so nice
Oh,
to
my
see
gosh.
that you're doing well, that you're helping other folks in the community do well with First City Recovery Center. Nathan, thank you so much for joining us
you.
today. Keep
Thank
up
you
the
for
great
sharing.
work.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Congratulations, and thanks so much for everything you're doing. Something we definitely need in this community.
Absolutely.
Thank you both so
Yeah,
much.
thank
Betcha.
you.
Thank you so much for watching The Ripple Effect. Today, I'm Jessica. This is Kim. We're from Solidarity Community Federal Credit Union, and we'll see you next time.